I'm Elizabeth Alford.
And I'm Michael Young.
Our firm is Pollen Architecture and Design in Austin, Texas.
You know, this project is our own home, so there's a very personal and different sort of relationship to designing when you do that.
We were definitely inspired by historic structures that we had seen, like old houses that were built before sheetrock was a common material. And it would be board and lath, and walking into them, you had this wonderful sense of the material and you could understand how it was built. And so we liked the idea of bringing that into a modern context. We also really tried to reduce the amount of circulation. So there's not a long hallway in the house, which is sort of wasted space. So we thought a lot about sort of experientially going from one space to another. And each space also has a direct connection outside.
We knew we wanted to use pine wood boards for our interior walls. So I went to Bob Davis at Delta, and we had worked with Bob before. He had done some mill work for us. He had a vast knowledge about woods, especially native woods from the South. So he went and sourced this yellow pine that we talked about. It's a more refined grade. It's all vertical grain, and it's been extra kiln dried, so it's extra stable, and there are no knots. It's very, very clear and very, very consistent. And Bob sourced that for us from Delta. Our detailing on the wood was to really show how it was put together, how it was made, not trying to conceal details, but express them.
So we really enjoy the corners, for example. The wood grain is exposed on the end of the wood, on the end of the board, and has the grain sort of changes as it turns the corner. And one of the things that's really wonderful about working with boards is that you can expose that. You have a thickness to the material that you can reveal and express. And we think that those are the things that really make a space interesting and wonderful. We were really trying for a sense of serenity and calm in the house. And one of the things that's contributing to that is the house is angled away from the street a bit. So we're looking into trees, we're looking into gardens. You're not so aware of neighbors on either side. So we really appreciate that we can feel like we're in a real natural setting, even though we're in central Austin.
I don't think a lot of people talk about that, but I think lighting design and using natural light in spaces is one of the most challenging things as an architect, because it's so powerful and so strong and has such a presence every day.
Each side of the house has a different orientation. So we definitely thought about how the light enters the rooms on the different sides of the house. So for example, facing south, what you're seeing here, we have a big opening with a big overhang so that warm light comes in the winter, but in the summer it's more shady. The kitchen is on the east end, has big windows, so we get nice light in the morning. The west side has a big overhang and it has smaller openings because that's where it's going to be really hot in the summer.
I think one of the design issues for developing the plan was to have a large family room that faced north, so we would have this great light, because that's where we would all spend a lot of our time.
One of the things that we really enjoyed on this project was designing oversized sliding doors that are custom made for the space and are made with planed boards, so the grain from the walls can continue onto the doors.
Because it's not a very large house, It's right under 3,000 square feet. But one of the things that we really wanted to achieve was to make the house feel larger than it was. And so how we address the outdoors right around the house was very important, because we see that outdoors as an extension of the actual house. It's that other room. It's the outdoor room. From a visual design point of view, we really wanted to use the siding as a way to emphasize the different volumes of the house. And in some cases, it was more appropriate to run the boards vertically, so it would emphasize a form in a different way, or volume of the house in a different way. And I think that through some of the windows and the openings, you can actually see where that wood is carrying through from outside to inside. It's a casual house to live in. I think being in the space allows you to discover it and to feel it.